Hello, happy almost end of the weekend. My name is Stacy and welcome to week 17, 2022. This will be the last full week of April and the last full week of hockey because playoffs start in May and I cannot wait. It is about it's almost 9 o'clock on Sunday night. And I was like, holy cow, I need to film my clip. But I have not read this weekend. I was planning on reading Rookie Move and Hard Hitter by Serena Bowen so I could finish it up. And in my brain, the Smart Women Read Romance book club was on Tuesday, but it's not Tuesday. It's tomorrow on Monday. So we're going to kind of do a quick little wrap up here, or a quick little intro here, because I want to get in my PJs and I want to get like my face washed and everything and all that good stuff, and then get in bed and read as much as I can of Hard Hitter. And then I might try to see if there's an audiobook so I can binge the rest of it tomorrow at work, or at least one with my library. So anyway, so I also did want to mention, at the end of last week's vlog, I talked about the show Storm Rising and how, the main guy, Reed Timmer, looks super familiar to me. My stupid brain. He is one of the guys that was on Storm Chasers because I looked it up because I was like, I know this guy from somewhere. He was one of the people from Storm Chasers, and he chased with Joel. They were best friends. And then I found out that Joel died of a drug overdose when he was in like Puerto Rico or somewhere in 2018. So didn't really know I didn't really realize what was going on there. But yeah, so he was from that show, and he was like the crazy, slightly annoying one, and he's still kind of the same way, but that's just who he is. And I get it, when you're storm chasing and when you get in that situation, like everyone's adrenaline is going, so you're just like so amped up. He definitely has calmed a little bit with age, I would say, but he's still like, you can just tell he loves it, and he loves extreme weather. And anyway, so I really enjoyed the show, Storm Rising. Like I mentioned last week, it's on not Discovery. It's on National Geographic, and it was about it's 5 episodes long. The first 2 are about a couple of tornadoes in 2020, and then how the tornado season and hurricane season kind of overlapped in 2020, and then they do quite a few hurricanes, which was exciting for me to watch because I've never heard of hurricane storm chasing before, so that was fun. But I just wanted to update that he was from that. He also had a TV show called Tornado Chasers, which I didn't realize, but technically Storm Chasers is a reality TV show and not like a documentary style TV show, and they classify Tornado Chasers as a documentary TV show, and the same with with Storm Rising. So I don't know, but I enjoyed all of them. But yeah, so then I looked him up on YouTube, and instead of reading Saturday night, I watched him live stream tornado chasing, because he does that on his YouTube. And there were no or at least the storms he went after, there weren't really any tornadoes, but he just drove around for a few hours chasing tornadoes, and it was him and another guy with him. I'm spacing on his name, and they were talking about, what they were seeing and what they were seeing on the radar. And even though like they didn't see a tornado or anything, it was like a really interesting like sneak peek into what it's really like as a storm chaser. And I mean, they say, more often than not, you don't see a tornado versus see a tornado. But he also, the live show that I watched on Saturday, they also deployed a couple probes to, I think they called them gravity sensors or something like that. So it's not just tornadic storms that they're collecting data for. So I just love the science behind it, and it's super cool. So I signed up for, or I subscribed to his YouTube. I will link his YouTube down below if you are interested in it as well. And I signed up for notifications because, you know, one of these times I might as well just put it on, and it's something that I can probably very easily read to or just have on while I'm doing other things. So yeah, and apparently he has like blizzard chasing on his YouTube and stuff. And then he has some behind the scenes from tornado chasers, which I watched a couple of those, which was cool because I hadn't seen the behind the scenes stuff. So I did that instead of reading, but it was fun. And I had a lot of other like house chore stuff. I got my closet kind of switched over from all my winter. I switch out all of my like winter sweaters and my winter pajamas, and I got all my summer and spring clothes out and got those all switched over, and needed to make sure to do all my laundry, and I put my flannel sheets away and take back out my normal cotton sheets. So it's been a very busy weekend, but I have not read. So I'm going to kind of stop blubbering you. Let's do the quest calendar, and then I need to get ready to go to bed and read as much as I can of Hard Hitter tonight. So as it is the weekend and this is the start of a new vlog, we are playing Quest Calendars 2022, The Gates of Terralon. This is created by Sundial Games. They are linked down below. And we ended up last week being swallowed by a giant like sandworm. And so we traveled the worm, and we started here and we went through, and now we were down here at the end of the intestines. So let us see what this weekend brings. Ooh, those look like little worm leechy kind of creatures. Ooh, what is that? Oh yeah, no, that's a creature too. That's his tongue. And then his, I don't know, zoom in. There we go. And his eyeballs. Whoa. Wow. Okay, so so these are parasites. So there are 3 parasites, and we're going to have to roll an attack, roll for damage, and then a strength check as well. So you enter the large intestine chamber of the great worm and find the other traveler that got eaten. It was Gracie, an older feline scholar. She is alive and relatively unharmed. There are numerous parasites that are dwelling in the large intestine of the worm. You are not getting past without a fight. Well, I'm glad that we found her and she's relatively unharmed. That is good news. So I'm going to grab my dice. And then we will look at the back of the previous page and go from there. And I'll pull out another D6. We'll do this one. Okay. All right, Parasite 1. I need my D20. Okay. That is a 14. So our attack is a +6. So 20. Yeah. I think I just did math wrong. If your attack roll is 12 or more. Okay, we're good. I just completely broke myself here. All right, so damage is 2d6. Oop, I'm bumping stuff. And that is 7. If your damage roll is 7 or more, cool, the parasite dies. So Parasite 1, dead. All right, Parasite number 2. Oh, okay. Okay, so the strength check we don't have to do, because if you miss or you don't kill the parasite, it latches onto you and begins to suck your blood, and that's when you have to make a strength check. So we don't have to worry about that because we killed it. So Parasite number 2. That is an 11, so 17. If your attack roll is 13 or more, you hit the parasite. Okay. Damage is 6. Ooh, that's one less than last time. If you hit and your damage roll is 6 or more, the parasite dies. We are cutting it close here. Okay. And then, all right, so second parasite dies. So parasite number 3. Ooh, 15. So we are at a 21. If your attack roll is 13 or more, you hit the parasite. Sweet. Damage. 10. All right, if you hit and your damage roll is 7 or more, the parasite dies. So we killed all 3 parasites. All right, so we collect... All right. 3 parasites. Okay, if you killed 3 parasites, collect 3 gold. Cool. And we help Gracie to avoid the parasites. Sweet. So, that is it for the quest calendar. So, I'm going to get through as much of Hard Hitter tonight as I can. Man, I should have been paying attention. I should have been paying attention and checked my calendar, but that's okay. I prefer to read books in order, but I know that this is a series of interconnected standalones, so I don't have to read the first book, but I wanted to read the first book, but it's fine. It's fine. We'll go with it. So, I will see you when I have something to update. Good morning. Happy Monday. I figured I would do an update this morning on the way to work, since that's like my new thing now, my new spot. So last night I ended up finishing Hard Hitter by Serena Bowen. This is book 2 in her Brooklyn Bruisers series. It's either called Brooklyn or Brooklyn Bruisers on Goodreads, I think. And I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars, I think. Yeah, 4.5. Ooh, maybe 4. I'm debating between 4 and 4.5. So I'll probably kind of firm up what I'm going to rate it, because tonight is the live show with Smart Women Read Romance Patreon members. As for part of my ding is for the hockey portions. Now, when I first started the book, there are a couple of things, like they called the points that you win when you win a game. It called them game points, and it just sounded weird to me. But I understand calling them game points for people who don't really know hockey that well, because then you're kind of establishing at least the basics for them. But then it continued to call them game points, and they're just points. They're just points that you win from winning a game. I don't know if officially they're called game points, but as far as I've been watching hockey since the Avs came to Colorado in '96, I've just heard them called points. Or at least when they switched to that system, because I feel like they switched to that system after the Avalanche came, but I don't know, forever, since it's been, most of the hockey that I can remember has been on the point system. A lot of the hockey stuff I feel like was on point, really, really well done, felt really, felt normal and real, and not jazzed up for the book or anything, or changed for the book. However, there are a couple of things that did bother me. Yeah, okay, dude. This is telling us to stop there, buddy. Sorry, the pedestrian hit the light, and when the light turned, he was like thanking us for stopping, which, I mean, that's kind of sad if nobody ever stops for him, even though the light turned. But it's one of those crosswalks that's like in the middle of the block, so it'll turn yellow when it's about to turn red, and then it'll have 2 lights that are red. And then when it's okay to go, but you need to look first. Those two lights will blink back and forth, and then that's you have to stop, but then you treat it like a stop sign. You look for any pedestrians, and then you can go after coming to a full stop. But the person next to me went before it started blinking. But anyway, so there were like a lot of, what was I saying? The hockey stuff was done mostly pretty well. I do dislike, and granted, this book, I think, was written 2016, 17 in there. So the full, I feel like, health craze hadn't hit yet. But I'm sorry, but these hockey players are having pizza and beer and getting drunk way too often. And I've mentioned that in my contemporary romance reading vlog, which I'll put up in the cards. I feel like that's stereotypical just jock stuff, that after a game they go get drunk and stuff. And while nowadays in 2022 that hardly ever happens, and when it does happen, it's not from a team that's in the top of the playoff standings, because that is not good for your body, and you cannot play at a high athletic level for 82 games. Hockey season is 82 games. Having, like, yeah, they'll probably have a beer with dinner or stuff, but some of these kids, they're like getting drunk all the time and partying, and while our main hero character, O'Doul the captain, he also doesn't kind of like rein them in, and there isn't a discussion at all, and maybe because he's not one of those characters we don't really see it, but how that'll affect your performance. And while you may be able to get away with that, like in the beginning of the series, once it comes to the last stretch leading into the playoffs, which is when this book is set, I don't know. It kind of bothered me. And not that hockey players don't turn into jock bros. They can't turn into jock bros. That's the thing. But I feel like a jock bro hockey player is different than a jock bro football player. And it felt like the characters that were going full jock bro felt like football jock bro people and not hockey jock bro people. Because as I said in my contemporary romance vlog, there is a difference between the sports, because there is a different kind of mindset and way to take care of your body for these sports. That's the thing. I mean, our top player for the Avalanche, McKinnon, has been very open that he has, like, he's not, I mean, there were reports that came out during the off season. I think it was not this past one, but the one before. It was after we retraded the defenseman Zadorov off the team. He did a news report because he's from Russia, with a Russian publisher person, like magazine or news editor person. I don't know. But anyway, he is basically talking about Nathan McKinnon and his eating habits, and he's one of the top stars in the league, and I get not every player does this, but he helped change the culture of the Avalanche and of how the nutritionists and the way that the pre-post games and snacks are set up. Things like he eats chickpea pasta, not normal pasta, and he very rarely takes in sugars, and just very aware of what he is putting in his body. And while Nathan McKinnon may take it a little bit to the extreme, according to these reports, which he's kind of been like, no, I'll eat this every once in a while, or I'll eat this every once in a while, he still, in season, is very strict with what he eats. And he holds the entire team up to the same level, because the goal is to win the cup. But anyway, this is why I struggle with hockey romances, because I'm just like, you're doing me dirty. But the other thing I do want to mention is, And this kind of bothered me, and it wasn't as big a part of the story, except for it was kind of kept mentioning, it was like, it kept being brought up, and then the owner of the team, the like millionaire dude, Nate, I think was his name, it was like a big deal that they need to get into the playoffs. They need to get into third place. They can't be in fourth place. Excuse me, sir. When this book was published, the wild card setting was set up, and fourth place is still in the playoffs. Because the way that it's set up is there are 2 conferences, Western and Eastern, and then there are 4 divisions, and so that's 4 total, 2 in each conference. So the top 3 in each division get a firm spot. So that's 6. And then there are 2 wild card spots. And this started before this book was published. That started in, I think, 2012. Or maybe it was approved in 2012 and then they implemented it in the 13-14 season. But it like 2012 to 2013 is when this was implemented. I don't remember what the dates were in the book. But... and I know that sometimes things can change from season to season, but it just kept bothering me because they kept harping on how they need to be in third place. And while you're in third place, you're fine, and you are for sure in a seed. Like fourth place in your division is most likely still, if it's that neck and neck that you're constantly changing places with the person in third place, you're probably in the top wild card spot. Probably. I mean, but we don't, I guess there is a chance that it could not. Because when you look at like the Avalanche this season, they are so far ahead in points that they've clinched like a week and a half ago or something. So, and this is the last full week of hockey we have left. So I guess there is a chance that it could be that not getting third place would leave them out of the wild cards, but there's no mention whatsoever about wild card and being in a wild card position, or that for people who do know hockey. And I think that's the thing, is it was like 95% correct and felt good, and it was like how hockey it feels for me as a huge hockey fan, except for these little things. And it's like, if you're gonna do it and you're gonna do it mostly right, why can't you just do it all the way right? Or if you're not doing it all the way right, explain why that you're changing the things that are, or just say there's no wild cards. Or I don't know what's happening. I don't know what these 2 semis are doing. Or just, I don't know. I was like, they kept being like, no. And usually when they're that close and they're switching, like I said, they have enough points to be in the top of the wild card. And 2 teams from wild cards go. So, in case you want to know, and in case you read this book too, and so the way that it works is you do have points, and you get 2 points per game, and it is also explained in the book, so I will kind of touch base. If you go to overtime, and both teams automatically get a point. If you win in overtime, you get the 2nd point. If you lose in overtime, you still get 1 point. So you've got standings 1-3, so then each conference has a 1 seed through 8 seed. So, and that's if you put both conferences together, and the top, like, so I don't know, you like take out where the top 3 in one conference are, and then the top 3 in the other conference, or not conference, divisions are, and then the top 2 people left who aren't already clinched in a playoff spot are the 2 wild cards. So, and they still both play. Because then, like, it'll be the first seed against the 8th seed and things like that. But so I I don't know. And that whole system is a lot more confusing, and I'm trying to simple it down, and it probably sounds confusing because I'm trying to simple it down. But if you're in 4th place, you make the playoffs. Most likely. Like 99% likely. If you are in 4th place and constantly switching between the 3rd place. Now, if you were in 4th or 5th place and constantly switching with those around you, okay, yes, let's be worried. You might not make the playoffs because you're not guaranteed to get a wild card spot. But anyway, so those are the things. But outside of that, for the romance, I really enjoyed Ari and Patrick's. He goes by his last name a lot, which is normal in hockey things. Although most of the time the hockey nickname isn't just their name, there's usually a nickname. Like, I mean, I guess McKinnon goes by Mac or Nate Dogg, but a lot of hockey names is adding a Y to the end of their name. So like one of our characters, New Hook, or one of our players is New Hook, and he goes by Newy. And, you know, little things like that. Or our goalie from last year was Grubauer, who's now with the Seattle Kraken. He went by Gruby. And so it was weird. And granted, he only has a 2-syllable name, and he only went by O'Doul, but we didn't really hear, like, everybody just went by last names. But in hockey, it's more common to have a hockey nickname than just going by last name. But anyway, so that's another little thing. But I'm not as strict on that, but that's just another little thing where I was like, why does nobody have a hockey nickname? That's a thing. That is a thing. But I liked the way that Ari and Patrick's relationship evolved. It got very steamy very quickly. I was a little surprised at how quickly they got it on. But where I would also dropped my scores is she was a little too, she pushed him away a little too much. And I get that she just recently gotten out of a really horrible abusive relationship, and that was a whole thing. But at the same time, I also didn't like, and then when the whole issues with her ex arrived, and then it turned out that, which I didn't like either, that Patrick had taken uppers once because he was struggling with the fighting. And enforcers were kind of not in style in 2017 either, and there was a lot of talk about enforcers. And I feel like even in 2017, while that role is still there, and the role is still there to nowadays, it's not about enforcing. And even back then, the enforcers weren't just there to do enforcing. They were also there to, like, you have, depending on how your team structure is, like, we kind of have, we have a more physical character on our, or not character, player on our team, Curtis McDermott. And I mean, he is a big boy, and you do not want to get in a fight with him. And just having him in the lineup and on the ice kind of helps curb people from taking those borderline shots or those pot shots and ruining things and like potentially injuring someone gravely. And but he has to make the lineup. He has to be playing well defensively, although our specific player goes between defense and offensive a lot. But he also has to, you know, be able to keep up skating wise and skills wise. And, you know, it's not just, and maybe this is because this is 5 years in the future from when this book at least was written. But even, I feel like even back then, once hockey kind of, like, people, that's the one thing you hear a lot about is the fights. And don't get me wrong, I love a good fight, but it needs to have a reason. And I liked that was brought up, where it's kind of there to scare everybody. And every game that Curtis McDermott plays, he doesn't get in a fight. I feel like the fact that they can be scheduled or they can be pre-set up, like there is one player, I think he was on the Ducks team, that every time Curtis McDermott played against him, they got in a fight because that was just their thing. But that's not how it goes with every single team. And that's kind of how it felt like in the book, that he was fighting with every single team. Now, when someone calls someone out or someone lays a dirty hit or someone kind of toes the line, but also, when the penalty is assessed, there isn't always a fight. Sometimes there will be, but if the dude, like, serves his time, a lot of the times it doesn't, like, the fight won't happen because he got the penalty. Where you see fights is when someone lays a dirty hit, a toe-the-line hit, possibly injures another player, and the refs don't call anything. And then everybody's emotions get amped up even more, and that's usually when you see the fighting. There are times that I've seen fighting where you're down a couple goals, nobody has that kick in their pants, they're not skating well, they're not playing well, and that fight can energize them to kind of amp them up to the next level. But that's not how it always is. And I feel like, but hockey overall is kind of moving into more skilled play. But yeah, so I liked that. What I also didn't like is, I know, I feel like I'm just ragging on this book, but I really did enjoy it. And I read it all last night. I couldn't put it down, but I was also pushing myself because I was like, okay, I'll give myself till 1 a.m. to get as far as I can get. And it hit 1 a.m. and I was like at 84%. And I was like, screw it, we'll just finish it. Because I knew from the like table of contents that there was like a preview chapter to the next book at the end of it. So I knew that I didn't have to get to like 100% kind of a thing. So it may seem like things have not changed, but they have. It is now just after 5 o'clock and I am on my way home from work. And I totally did not realize this morning that it stopped recording while I was sitting in my car and just blabbering on at you. I'm telling you, I tend to ramble, but you get me on hockey and I will not freaking shut up. So I felt bad because it sounded like I was kind of ragging on a lot of things, but you know, like I mentioned before, if you're gonna go all the way and try to be super realistic on what hockey actually is, I need it to be a lot more closer to what it actually is instead of, I don't know, it just feels like some things were kind of given up on and at least not explained away. But I do want to talk about Ari and Patrick a little bit more because I kind of touched base on them and then it's cut off. So I'll have to see where exactly it cut off on me and I might have to trim some stuff out. But anyway, so I liked overall the evolution of Patrick and Ari's relationship, but what also kind of detracted from it being a 5 stars for me was Ari and the situation with her ex. And what bothered me was how Patrick came into the picture, and when it came out that the one time Patrick bought friggin' uppers and it was from this ex's nightclub, and then he just, you know, stereotypical bad guy, leaked it to the press, causing all these scandals. And I didn't understand why Ari jumped to the conclusion that he was using her to like get to access to Vince. It just seemed very odd because things started happening between them before he even knew who her ex was or the situation with the ex. And then for her to, I don't know, she jumped to that conclusion and it felt very weird and it felt kind of out of character. And I understood like her going to the worst possible conclusion because of what happened with her ex, but that was not the direction I would have expected it to get to, because that just seemed, I don't know, if she used to work in the club and she's been around club people, you would think she would recognize if he was doing drugs. And never mind the fact that she is a trainer and a health professional for his team. Like, she would have noticed some sign, even if she wrote it off. She would have noticed something that may have seemed odd, and then finding out that he was possibly doing drugs would have clicked those pieces together for her, is what I would have thought. So the fact that she jumped to that conclusion bothered me. And then I also felt like, I don't know, and I get it, she was going through really horrible things, but the fact that she was so, before the whole shooting and murder and all that went down, but the fact that she was almost, I don't know, and this is going to sound bad, but she was almost selfish or self-centered in the fact that it was all about her and her relationship with Vince. Never mind the fact that what Vince was doing was causing a scandal, whether it was true or not, to not only affect Patrick and potentially ruin his career, but ruin any sort of reputation or good standing with the hockey league for his teammates, him, his coaching staff, the training staff, and all of these different things. And it just felt a little too much. Like, even if she was more focused on herself, I felt like we didn't really get the realization that it wasn't just a little thing for him and the team, if that makes sense. I hope it does. But just something little, just a little bit of a realization, or when they make up a conversation of how, if things would have gone wrong, how much of an impact this would have had. But like I mentioned, overall, I did really enjoy the series, and most of the hockey stuff was correct. But just because most of it was correct and then there were those few little things that weren't correct, it bothered me more than if it all had been incorrect. Or it had just been somebody who maybe watched one or two hockey games, watched a couple interviews, and then decided to watch a hockey romance without understanding hockey culture. But anyway, overall, I really enjoyed it. I liked Ari and Patrick. I'm definitely intrigued to go back and read the first book, which I wanted to read the first book anyway, but I am definitely intrigued by the first book, and it seems like the next couple books are also being set up, so I'm definitely intrigued to read more. This is the first Serena Bowen that I've ever read, so I'm excited for that portion. And then I did, so this is the cover that I prefer, but for the Love Has Sprung Bingo Board 1, I'm using the couple on a cover because there is a different cover that has like a couple sitting on like stairs of like a New York, I'm guessing what's supposed to be Ari's house, and it looks like a New York kind of brownstone building-ish. So I use that, and that'll work for a couple on the cover. And then for the Taylor Swift quarterly challenge, I'm trying to remember. Oh, I used it for Welcome to New York, which is for a story set in New York or with a friendly character. And that covers both, but I used it for the New York setting. So there's that. I'm going to stop blabbering you and finish driving on the way home. And then I'll do the quest calendar tonight. I don't know if I'm going to film that before. Actually, I'll wait till after the Smart Women Read Romance live, because then I can kind of chat about what I thought from the live show and if it changed my opinion on anything at all. But alrighty. Traffic is crazy, so I'm going to stop blabbering at you, and I will see you all later. Bye. Hello. Happy Monday. I guess I've already left a couple clips today, but anyway. It is just about 10 o'clock, and I figured I would do my quest calendar before I wash my face and stuff and get ready for bed. But before I do that, the Smart Women Read Romance live show was super fun. Justin and Juliet and Jen was in the chat. They all were like, I need to read Brooklyn Air, which is a part of the series. So I told them I'd pick Brooklyn Air up next after I read my SJM read-along books. So, and that is what I'm starting tonight. I'm going to start Crown of Midnight tonight, which is book 2 in Throne of Glass. I'm reading this as a part of the SJM read-along that's hosted by Jen, the Book Refuge. She's doing if you haven't heard about it, it is Sarah J. Maas's entire backlist in publication order, and it'll run through next year at some point. And each section, she's going to have different hosts join her. So the next live show is this coming Friday or Saturday. It's Friday or Saturday. So I need to read Crown of Midnight and then the second prequel novella. So I'm excited to move on because I really enjoyed Throne of Glass. I gave it 4.5 stars. So I'm excited to see what happens next. But let's do the quest calendar so I can get ready for bed. And try not to die. Okay, so we fought some parasites this weekend. Let us see what today says. Oh, yay. It looks like we have broken out of the worm that swallowed us all. Great. Okay. You've been traveling through the intestines of this worm too long. You don't know how big it is or how long it will take to reach its unpleasant end. You decide to cut your way out from the inside. So cut your way out of the worm from the inside, roll damage. And that is all we need to know. Cool. So I'm going to set that over there. I'm going to pull out my dice. And damage is d6s. So I will roll my d6s. Now, roll damage. That's it, just roll damage. So we have 2d6 plus 1. So that is 10, so plus 1, so 11. Okay, if the total damage is 25 or less, you damage the inner wall of the worm as you are blasted with blood and acid from the inside. The muscles fight back and knock you down. Reduce your health by 2. Continue to cut your way out. Roll damage again and add the total damage up. Okay, so this will be a running total. So I'm going to get a pen. And we're just going to make a little tick note on my note here. So we've got 11 damage. So we are looking to hit 26 or more. So round 2 is, I rolled another 10. So that's another 11. So it's 22. So same thing. We'll take another 2 damage. So that'll be a total of 4 damage. I'll just keep track here. And we are fully healthy. So I'm not too worried. We're at 22, so I need 4 total here. And I rolled 8, 9. So that puts us at a total of 31 damage. Okay, if total damage is 26 or more, you see a hint of daylight as you finally cut and claw your way out of the worm. Luckily, the worm emerged from the sands to die while you tore it up from the inside. You push yourself free from the thick skin and help the other traveler, Gracie, out as well. You both take a short break to clean yourselves off before parting ways. While you were inside the worm, it took you far away from where it attacked. Gracie must find the other travelers. You still need to find the lost library. Well, wasn't the leader of the caravan also looking for the lost library? Wouldn't it still be okay to pair up? I don't know. Apparently we're separating now. I mean, but we're in the desert, so wouldn't it be best to stay together, you know? Safety in numbers and all that. Although technically we have our hero dude with us. Our follower or whatever it's called. But anyway, alright, cool. So we took 4 damage. I will get that marked on my character sheet. And that is all I have for you. So I'm going to get all of my bedtime stuff done and get in bed. And then I'm probably going to read Crown of Midnight. I don't know how late I'll stay up, but I do want to spend at least an hour reading. So we'll see how far I get, and I will probably update you sometime tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow on the way into work, because that apparently is my new thing. But I will see you all soon. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday. The Avs play tonight against the St. Louis Blues. This is the second to last game. There's 3 games left. We have tonight, and then a back-to-back on Thursday and Friday. So, I meant to read start Crown of Midnight last night by Sarah J. Maas, and I did not start it. I do plan to start it today, though. So, I do have some fun things to show you, though. So, my new Fitbit came today. I got the Fitbit Sense. The one that I had was on a recall, and then I found a pretty blue Galaxy face. I haven't gotten all my settings set up, but I immediately got it charged and synced up at work. So I at least have a watch now. So I just need to get my alarms, my normal timers, and things like that on it. But yeah, I'm excited. And then what also came today, which I totally spaced that today was release day, and I totally did not see your package is shipped email, but look what came out today. When a Princess Proposes by Carolyn Sparks. This is the 3rd in the Embraced by Magic series. But if you've heard me talk about this series before, the series started out as Embraced, and it was published through St. Martin's, is what it looks like on the spines. And the first 3 books were published through them, but then they did not pick up the series, or the series was dropped, or I don't know exactly what happened, but then Kensington picked up the series, and so it went from Embraced to Embraced by Magic. So this is book 3 in Embraced by Magic, but technically it's book 6 in the series. I still have not read book 5 because I thought book 5 was going to be the last book. But yeah, I'm excited. So I need to reread the first 4 books, because every time a new one of these has come out, I reread the entire series, and I have not reread them yet. I meant to start my reread during Ferrofeb, and as you've probably noticed, my reading you probably don't know unless you follow me on Goodreads, my reading has been a lot lower this year so far. So yeah, I definitely cannot wait to start this. And I don't know how I saw this, because I think she has a Facebook page, and I got a notification on Amazon that there was a new book up to pre-order. That's how I saw it, because she doesn't have normal, I think she has a Facebook group, but I don't think she has a newsletter or an Instagram or a Twitter or anything like that. So I went to the Facebook group, or maybe I saw it on Amazon, because I don't think I'm a part of her Facebook group. I just don't get on Facebook anymore. But anyway, I'm super excited. This is my favorite fantasy series, and so book 1 is How to Tame a Beast in 7 Days. You can see them right... Where's my finger? Right here. These 3 with this orangey one. That's the 3rd book in the series, so it's those 3. And then you can't see the other ones there in the stack next to it because they're all this size. But it went from sexy half-naked male covers to ones like this. So I need to read book 5. And then this is kids. I kind of ish read the back, but it's Princess Eviana. So from what I could kind of assume, because I just kind of scanned it, I'm guessing that she is the daughter from one of the couples in the previous books, which is super duper exciting. So I can't wait to read this. And I just love these new cover styles. But so that was super exciting for today. Now, what was super exciting yesterday, I was meant to film a clip, but I left them at work because I just always leave freaking stuff at work. So I was sitting at my desk. So when you walk into our office, we have the front desk with the computer for like counter sales for parts and stuff. And then my boss's desk is there and she has the front office. And then I'm in the back office behind her. And I've got like parts boxes and stuff back there for some of our smaller brands. But anyway, I was sitting in the back office on the computer and I heard our UPS driver come in and deliver packages because we get parts like every day almost, it feels like. And he came around the corner into my office, which is kind of weird because usually he just leaves all the packages up front. And he's like, I have to talk to you. And I was like, okay. And he goes, I have some things that we were going to donate to the Ark and the Goodwill here in town, but I was wondering if you would want them. And I was like, okay. And this is what he showed me, and this is what he brought me. I don't know if you can tell from the colors. Avalanche jerseys. Avalanche jerseys. Okay, I'm gonna like completely geek out here, or nerd out, or geek out, or just go all fangirl. So, I still need to wash them, but we have Mr. Rob Blake, who is number 4, which is my favorite number, and one of my favorite freaking players, Mr. Rob Blake, in an away jersey. And then we have an alternate jersey, and then, that's right, Peter frickin' Forsberg. Peter Forsberg. Just wait. If you know hockey, or if you know at least Avalanche hockey, then we've got Drury. But this is one of the styles that I completely missed out on. And it was when they had, this was the front, and it had like the little tie with the Colorado going down crooked. And then I'll show this next because I was leaving one out. And then this is when they won the cup in 2000-2001 season. This is a Stanley Cup champion flag, which I don't think we have this. All of my Avalanche memorabilia and what was my mom's Avalanche memorabilia is in the storage unit. But I'm pretty sure I don't have this. And then, oh my gosh, cheese just crawled in the bag. Can I have this, please? This is the last. Okay. And then, what is this gray jersey, you ask? It's a practice jersey for none other than Mr. freaking Ray Bourque. Guys, I went around showing everybody at work yesterday when I was like, oh my God, look what he brought me. And he was just going to give them away to the Ark. That is hundreds of dollars there. Probably even more because they aren't new anymore. I was flabbergasted. And I cannot wait to wash them when I do laundry this weekend and get them added to my collection. I'm telling you, oh my gosh. Yesterday was a good day. Today was a pretty good day. we'll see what tomorrow brings. But I'm still just like, I can't believe that he just was gonna give those away. And then he thought of me, and that was super sweet, because it's not like we've talked a lot, but we have talked a little bit of hockey every now and again when he's seen me wear the older jerseys, because right now I'm wearing the new style, which is Eric, and I have Eric Johnson's, who's a current defenseman. But the other two jerseys I have are from early on, like the 96 early era, when the Avalanche were first created, or when they moved from Quebec and became the Avalanche. So I have Sakic and Waugh. And my Sakic jersey is my white one. It's my away jersey. And it's kind of, all the little like patches and stuff are starting to come off on the edges. But it's the only away jersey I have. And so like I'll wear it in the winter a lot, because I'll wear like my vest over it or something to try to help keep it safe. But now that it's been warmer, I usually just wear it at home. But yeah, I still want an away jersey in the new style, and I still want a third jersey. But jerseys are expensive, and I just couldn't believe it. But anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling, because if you get me talking hockey, and playoffs start next week. Okay, but anyway, let's do the quest calendar real quick. And then I'm telling you, I felt so freaking blessed yesterday and so thankful, and I could not believe that he just gave those to me, and he was just gonna give them away. But at least he knows that they're going to someone who will like deeply appreciate and take care of them and really understands the meaning behind them as jerseys. Not that it seems like he's as hardcore of a fan as me, but probably somebody, either he or somebody in his family was at some point. But anyway, quest calendar. So yesterday we cut ourselves out of the worm. Let us see what happens. Ooh. There's like a little sand building. Cool. Alrighty. You spot a building in the far distance. It is the only structure besides rock and sand that you have seen in a while. It must be the lost library. You still have some dangerous sand to cross to make it safely to the building. Oh, really? Hi. Coming through? There's a tail. Oh my gosh, you're knocking things. Can we not? You always have to like mess with things in a slightly precarious position. All right, so let's see. Okay, cross the remaining part of the desert carefully so as not to draw the sandworms. Okay, roll a d20 plus dexterity. Reminder, stealthy. So our dex is a +5. And we do have stealthy, which is another +2, so that is a +7. So I need a dice. Yep, that's a d12. I need my 20. I still can't believe those jerseys, man. I can't. Oh my goodness. What is wrong with your kitty face? She just wants attention. Notice how she immediately gets quiet? Come here. Come here if you want attention. My goodness. Okay, so +7. Can I have good luck? What's this? Thank you. That's a 4. That was not good luck. That's the first time you failed me. Yeah, it's the first time you failed me. So, but +7. So we're at 11. Let us see. Okay, you're just barely good luck. If the result is 11 or more, it was enough. Our 4 was enough. You shuffle through the sand so as not to disturb the ground. You make it safely to the building. Sweet. So we are there, safe and sound. Alrighty, so that is it for now. I need to get up to last week's vlog so that it can go up tomorrow. So I'm going to get that to set up uploading and get all the metadata and stuff done with that. And then pregame will start here momentarily, so I will put that on tonight. The game is on ESPN, which means I will be listening to the radio while watching, because I don't like the national broadcast teams. They're better than the NBC ones were, that's for sure, but I still just get kind of grouchy because they're very East Coast biased, and since we're playing St. Louis, I don't want to hear him talk about St. Louis the entire time. So yeah, but anyway, hopefully I should have some time to start Crown of Midnight tonight because I have to get it read this week. But yeah, alrighty, I will let you go, and I will see you all very soon. Hopefully the Avalanche win because they lost the last 4 games. And I don't want to continuously lose going into the playoffs, even though they're fine and there's a lot of people resting. We don't want to develop bad habits. But yeah, go Avs, go. Hello, happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Yes, it's Wednesday. I'm in the same but slightly different position. I'm sitting differently, so if I look different, that's why, because I've been sitting down and I will just finish watching Married at First Sight. It's just after 9 o'clock. Oh, and they are dragging it out. So decision day is not until 2 weeks, and next week is some, I don't know, they're bringing back former people who have been on the show to talk about the couples or something weird. And I really don't care about that because this is the first season I've watched, so I don't know who any of those people are. But anyway, and if you watch Married at First Sight, a couple of the people are really annoying to me. And I was kind of yelling at the TV when it came to Noi, because I just don't understand why when Steve says something to her, she somehow extrapolates an idea from what he says that, like, isn't even on the same dimension. And I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, anyway. I was going to get up and get ready for bed, but I need to film an update. So let us talk calendar and then we will talk book, because I actually started Crown of Midnight last night. But so yesterday we found what we are assuming to be the lost library. The description says it's the lost library, but do I trust it 100%? No, I do not. So let's see. Okay. Ooh. Cool little owls. I like those owls. Alrighty. You stand before the locked doors to the lost library. An inscription on the plate above can be seen, but is worn down and hard to read. 1. What do you know of the lost library? Roll a d20 plus intellect, reminder student. 2. Look over the door, an inscription. 3. Gain access to the library. Alright, so 1, 2, and 3. Okay, d20 plus intellect. Reminder student, we are not a student. Our intellect is a -1. So, let me, where are you? There you are. Alrighty, let us see what we got. That is a 19. Not bad. Not bad at all. Pretty dang good. So, that is an 18. You know that the lost library was given its name because anyone who wished to seek information could find it here. No knowledge would be truly lost. people stopped coming because the librarian that guarded the building supposedly went crazy. Its job was to protect the texts inside from getting removed, and over the years, it began to attack indiscriminately. Ooh, that sounds fun. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, number 2, look over the door and inscription. The doors are magically sealed and locked. It appears that if you can read the inscription out loud, the doors will open. It was a way to ward off any would-be thieves. And it is a bunch of just gobbledygook. As you can see here, that's what this middle portion is. I mean, the code breaker part of me wants to like work out the code, but that's not. So it says gain access to the library. Okay. All right, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options. So 3A is pick the lock, which is dexterity reminder locksmith. B is climb up to an open window, strength reminder athlete, dispel the magic, wisdom reminder arcane adept. D is bash the doors in. And you have to deal 51 damage to break through. And E is solve the inscription. If you can successfully read the inscription out loud, the door opens to you. Now, the code breaker in me would like to solve the code. But I'm kind of tired and that'll take more time than I really want to spend doing this right now. So, pick the lock. We do not have locksmith, but we are good at dexterity. So we would get a +5 there. Or we could do the strength option, which is climb up to an open window. And that is strength, which is a +1. However, reminder athlete, which is a +2, and then another +2 from our followers. So that's also a +5. So they are the same. Both at a +5. I think I like the idea of climbing up to an open window over doing a lockpick. So let us try that one first. Can I have good luck? She didn't really give me good luck. But that's an 18, so 23. This one, if the result is 17 or more, sweet. You are able to climb up to an open window and get inside. Sweet. So, cool. We are inside the Lost Library. Very cool. Alrighty, so that is it for the quest calendar. So let us talk book. Last night I started Crown of Midnight. This is book 2 in the Sarah J. Maas series. Throne of Glass. And it takes place, I don't know how long, definitely not that long after Selena became the king's champion in the previous book. But let me see what, everything's coming out. I am 41% of the way through. I'm just about to start chapter 22. So I'm enjoying it, and it's definitely keeping me intrigued. I am waiting for more things to kind of happen and develop. I feel like we haven't quite hit to the main plot points that's supposed to be in this book. So Selena has been killing people for the king, and we have found out that she's actually not killing them. She's very adeptly faking their deaths, and then they have to wander free. And while this is putting her at risk, because if any of these people break the rule and ever use their name again, or they ever get found, then, not only is their life forfeit, but so is hers. But she's actually saving these people, and nobody knows. Dorian doesn't know. Kale doesn't know. The Princess Fahima, I don't think, knows. I feel like eventually, I think she did tell Fahima about that. I feel like she did. I know she took her down to the tomb to try to get help with the word gates. And I love Fahima. I think it's Fahima? Fahemia? The princess from Elwie. I really, really like her. And I'm glad that we get to see more of her. There was like kind of tension-ish between Dorian and Selena. And so they definitely are not a pair. And they're both kind of struggling completely getting over each other. And it seems like Dorian is seeing things between Kale and Selena. And they are like flirty and bantery at times. But I just don't... There's something about Kale that I just don't like. I don't like him for Selena. I'm not a big fan of him as our hero character. So I don't know. I'm hoping that she ends up with somebody. When it does turn more romancy, she ends up with somebody else. So that is what I'm thinking about that. We do also get, she just recently convinced the princess, I'm just going to call her the princess, to help teach her how to read the word gates. So she's going to start learning that language. So that's super cool. And then we have Fleetfoot, her little puppy, which apparently is part wolf or wolfhound or something like that. And I'm really enjoying just being back with these characters and kind of learning more about the world. And we are seeing a little bit more of Selena being able to be more of an assassin and a badass. And not that she wasn't in the first book, but it was definitely a lot of talk because she had just left the slave mine. And while this isn't that long after, you can tell that she's like definitely back in fighting shape, and she's able, although she has made a couple little silly mistakes, and I feel like she's trusting some people a little bit more than she probably should, but that's okay. She's doing the best that she can, and I'm definitely not feeling completely upset with the decisions that she's making. It's just a couple of times where I'm like, oh, nice try, it didn't work that way. I don't know if that was the right choice, but it was a good second choice option kind of a thing. But we did see, I think my theory that she is either lost princess for, I think it's Terrasen, the continent that she's from. It starts with a T for sure. I need to just start taking notes. And I know that there's like a full fandom Wikipedia page for it that Jen said was super helpful, but she said it also has a lot of spoilers on it, so I don't really want to spend too much time looking at it, but I think it's Terrasen. I feel like she's either related to the royalty there, or she's like the lost princess, or the daughter, or like the niece, or she's somehow related to the king and queen. And there was a time when the princess was talking to her about how the strongest court besides Darlin's was Terrasen's, and how they wish that the like missing princess or the missing heir or whatever they said is restructuring her court because it was the only one strong enough to go against Dorian's father. And that's why they were the first target to get kind of knocked out of contention. And there was something, I don't know, there was something said about her, and she had a thought like, am I an imposter? And it was really quick, and I was like, whoa. I was like, no, she's not. There are rumors and myths going around about what actually is happening and where this actual daughter is, or lost princess or whatever. And I'm like, it's gotta be her. It's got to be her. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. So I need to, I'm hoping I can finish this by Friday, but we'll see. It's already a little late and I don't want to stay up too late reading, but I definitely want to make a good headway. And my plan is to get to at least 60%, but we'll see what happens. But I'm enjoying it so far. And I'm intrigued to kind of see what's next. And I feel like there are pieces kind of starting to get put together, but it's like, so I'll explain it this way. So the way I like to do a puzzle is I will do the outside, and I'll separate edge pieces and middle pieces, and I'll do the outside first, and then I'll go based off of colors and then just kind of assemble my puzzle from there. And I feel like we're getting like quadrant 1, a centerpiece, quadrant 4, and so like we're getting pieces to the puzzle, but we don't have the framework yet that the puzzle is fitting in. Like we don't even have the picture on the box yet, kind of a thing. So it's like a mystery puzzle. So I'm intrigued to see where all of the series is going to end up going. She's kind of tasked, Selena's tasked in this book by Alana to, like, she has to figure out what the king's plans are, and she was kind of freaking out about it, but then she kind of realized she just needs to, she wasn't told she has to take care of what's happening or stop what's happening. She needs to figure it out first. And I feel like all of these friends that she's making and these people that she's helping save and just creating relationships with are all going to be needed to help support her in whatever is happening. Oh, I do want to say, I was really sad that they killed the musician, like right away. I was like, I'd rather we just heard that the music, like we know Dorian's dad is a bad guy. I did not need that beheading scene. We already know he's a horrible person. We already know he's caused a lot of deaths and done a lot of deaths. I did not need that beheading scene. That was very dark suddenly. And I'm sad that she died. I would have rather at least that like nobody's seen her since she played at the king's party or whatever. And then another scene, when she finds a new tunnel under the library, and she finds, like, when she sticks her dagger under there to try to look in a locked room that's behind solid iron, which, Faye, I know iron and Faye. And she sees green glowing eyes. And she feels weird about it. So here's a very oddball prediction I'm going to throw out there. There is a person in here of Fae origins, Fae lineage, Fae something. And I think who is in this room is, because it's kind of set up like it's something bad. It's not going to be bad. And I kind of want it to be like her match, her pairing for love. And maybe I'm just completely screwing myself over by going on this wild because I usually try for books like these, for fantasies like this, I try not to do too much predictions, or I don't know. I just can't help myself because there's so much going on. And during the first live show for the first book and novella, there was a lot of like speculations going on. So now I want to have my own crazy speculations to kind of throw in the pot. And I don't know. We'll see. That's my crazy random off the wall prediction. Is that whatever person is in that room, I'm going to say it's a dude, and it's going to be who Selena falls in love with. We'll see. But anyway, I'm going to get ready for bed. And then I'm going to get back to reading finally, because I haven't read anything since last night. but I'm definitely enjoying it so far. I keep saying I'm going to go, but I did see that there are a lot of hints. I haven't been reading the Discord, but I get the notifications of people when they're saying stuff, and the spoiler ones that are marked as spoilers, I have set so they don't pop up on notifications. But a lot of people are really enjoying Crown of Midnight, and I saw somebody post that there's a lot of little pieces laid throughout the book, and that the final few percentage or whatever really culminates on all that and really just blew them away. And a lot of people are saying after reading this book, it's really hard not to immediately jump into the third book in the series. So I feel like things are going to start ramping up. I don't know when they're going to start ramping up, but it sounds like things are going to start ramping up, and we're going to start getting more and more and more, and kind of get out of whatever little bit of stagnancy that we're in right now. But I can't wait. So who knows? Maybe that'll start soon and I'll stay up all night freaking reading. But anyway. Okay. I'm really going to say goodbye now. We're at almost 20 minutes. So I will check in when I've read more. Hope tomorrow I will at least have read a chapter. I will say that. And we'll do the quest calendar or whatever. And who knows? Maybe something crazy will happen and I'll have to update you before then. But anyway, no matter what, I will see you all very soon. Hello. It's about 11:30. I am not happy. Princess Nehemia has been killed, slaughtered. Carol hid the fact that there was a threat against her from Selena, and he was hiding other things from her until it was too late, and she was not there in time to save her. And she just went full assassin mode. Before that, her and Kale were getting it on a lot. And I was kind of over it. I was like, whatever. I don't like Kale. I don't like what's happening. She was one of my freaking favorite characters. We got a weird chapter that was just like a couple paragraphs, and it was her talking with Elena. So she's conversing with Elena, and basically they needed to get either her or the prince on board, and Selena was closer to being on board than the prince. I'm really hoping that there's a way to bring Nehemia back to life. But I don't think so. And that sucks. That really sucks. And the way that the last conversation went between her and Selena was not good. Not good at all. And I don't like it. I don't like it. Man, killing my favorite character? Not okay, man. Not okay. I am 58% in. I'm about to start chapter 32. I also got to a point where it said part 2, Queen, the Arrow of the Queen or something like that. Not cool, man. Not cool. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday the 28th. We are almost through April. I cannot believe it. things are warming up. It was like 75 degrees today, and I am not ready for this warm weather so early. But anyway, I was working on getting my Fitbit set up, and I found a screen that allows you to put a clock face that allows you to put pictures on it. So look, oop, it's cheesy. I was sitting at work today, and I moved it to check the time, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, kitty, kitty, kitty. My boss started laughing, and I was just like, I get to look at her all the time. She's always with me now. And her cute little kitty face. She's over there sleeping. Or at least she was until I touched her. I know, am I touching you? Okay, so let's do the quest calendar, and then we'll talk about other things. So, yesterday we came up to the Lost Library, and we managed to crawl up, I'm assuming, to either of these windows and make our way inside. So let us see. Ooh, look at all the books. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. So cool. So cool. I love libraries. Oh. Okay. A vast hall of knowledge stands before you. There are floors with endless shelves of books holding the knowledge of the universe. A wooden sign at the entrance contains a message scratched in wood. Number 1, read the message. Number 2, begin searching the stacks of books. Roll a d20 plus intellect. Reminder student. Well, that part of the quest isn't going to be good for us, but we'll make it work. So, here is our sign. Rules of the library. Number 1, no noise. Number 2, take nothing. Violation will result in the death of the librarian. Okay. So, begin searching the stacks of books. D20 plus intellect. Reminder student. We are not a student. And our intellect is a -1. I should have grabbed my dice out beforehand. You don't need dice every day, so I don't always take them out, but it's okay. Can I have good luck? Oh, goodness, please. Oh, goodness. Big mush. Alrighty. We have a -1. Okay. So, we are at a 17. Okay, so that puts us at a 16. Let us see. If the result is 16 or more, just barely, you discover a massive and heavy cabinet that contains a catalog listing all the contents of the library. It also gives you a good idea of how and where to locate the items. Judging by the disarray of the library, you can only hope that the items you seek are located where they should be. You spend some time here looking over the contents. Gain a +4 to search the library for scrolls and books tomorrow. Well, we are doing more library stuff tomorrow, I guess. Super fun. Okay, so I'm going to make a note that tomorrow we get a +4. +4 in library. Go. Coo. Alrighty. So, there's that. We are done with the quest calendar. And then I have a quick little unboxing for you. So, even though it's like the end of the month, I have my fortune cookie box of the month. Now, I knew it was going to come. Usually they ship it around the 12th. And because I'm in Colorado and they're in Oklahoma, I get it pretty quickly. But they emailed around when they usually ship. Oop, I'm hitting stuff. And let people know that there is a dryer ball in the box, and that the dryer balls were on, I don't know, something happened with them. Either they weren't shipped in time, or the ones they got were wrong, or I don't know. But they basically were waiting for the dryer balls to arrive at their place. And so it was like a huge whole thing. So they were like, okay, they sent out basically a big message that was like, your box is going to be late. We're so sorry. They pushed back the extended collection because usually, if you haven't seen any of my other unboxings, Fortune Cookie Soap is a small business in Oklahoma, and they do bath and body products, small batch. I think everything's pretty much handmade. And they have a theme for each month, and the monthly box is $16.95 plus with free shipping. And then you also usually get a $10 off of $25 code that's good for 30 days. And then the launch is usually at the end of the month. But because of the supply chain issues, instead of the launch being tomorrow on Friday, they moved it to it actually says on the inside of the box right here, May 6th. So if you're interested in any of these scents, definitely check out their website. I'll link them down below like always. And it goes live at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. I love them. They're pretty much the only bath and body products I use anymore. And I just love the scents. So the April theme is Farmers Market, and I'm super excited. So here is the little blurb. Obviously, this is wrong now. It's now in May. So, and then the descriptions are on the back. And then there's usually, each collection also has a set of 4 different stickers, and you'll get a sticker randomly included in your orders. And so this one is the Just Peachy, which I love peaches. So that's cute. The sticker's different. Usually the corners are rounded, but this one's straight. But that's okay. I don't mind. Woo! Oh, look at this pretty teal color. Okay. So since we already know that there's dryer balls in here, we will just pull out the dryer balls. And then, so it has a cute little organza bag. It looks like there's 2 balls. And then this is laundry fragrance oil dryer ball kit. So I've never used dryer balls before. So it says to use, add a few drops of laundry fragrance oil to each of the dryer balls. Give them time to absorb the oil deep into the fibers before placing into your dryer. Interesting. So this scent is locally grown. Oh, it's sealed. Ah! Oop. The little tabby came off. So, oh, I've smelled something that smells like this before. It's definitely like a good laundry scent. That's for sure. I don't know if it's one that I would particularly use. I also have the same scent for all of my laundry stuff. It's one of the Gain scents, and I have it in laundry soap, dryer sheets, and then what I call laundry sprinkles, which are the little thingies, the little scent booster thingies. And so I don't know how well that scent would mix with my normal soap, but let us see. So that was locally grown. So grab your tote bag and enjoy the great outdoors. Wandering through your favorite stalls, you find fresh rosemary, dried patchouli leaves, hand-picked citrus, juicy melon, and lavender sprigs. Everything is farm fresh and waiting for you. I think what stood out the most to me was the rosemary and lavender, because I didn't really get the citrus or melon or the fruity scents in there, but that's okay. Alrighty, so next. Life is Sweet Body Milk. I love their body milk. It is like a lotion, except it's really, let me see if I can get this by the, I don't know if you could hear that. That might have sounded really weird, but it's definitely very thin, it is like milk. Pour it into here. So if I can just get it to drip. Boop. It's really good. It works best like right after the shower it soaks right in because it's so thin. Ooh, that's very fruity. And I feel like there's like a touch of, I think it's all fruit. I like that, but I really like their body milk. It's really good, especially in like the summer and warmer, because when you put it, it just soaks in so easily. It doesn't feel heavy in your skin. And I love to put it on after a shower when, you know, all the pores are open and everything. And I love the body milk. It's one of my favorite of their products. So life is sweet. And so are you. Aww. A blend reminiscent of a festive summer day, full of the delightfully sweet aromas of juicy sun-rich melons, tangy sweet berries, and invigorating citrus. That is one I really like, and it's perfect for summer. Oh, really? I like that one a lot. I'm going to give that one 5 out of 5. The dryer ball, I think I'm going to give 3 out of 5. Maybe 4. We'll see once. She's very interested in the dryer balls. What are you doing over there? Okay, so here is fresh picked petal perfume oil. And there are petals in it. Pretty purple petals. So it looks like the perfume is clear. It may have a little bit of a purple tinge to it, but not very much. Okay, so let us see. It definitely has a floral, but not like a very perfumey floral. Like it's a very light floral. I would use this for sure. And there is, I know it's hard to tell because my hands now smell citrusy. Nope. Let me put perfume on my nose. I feel like it's mostly florals, but let me see how it smells mixed into my skin chemistry. That's right. I'm pulling out the language. Ooh. Yeah, that's definitely florally. I don't really get, there's a tinge of sweetness, but I don't know what it's from. It's so pretty. I've had a couple of petal perfumes from them before. I also have a crystal one, which is cool. Let's see. Petal perfume. This blend is a beautiful bouquet of fresh citrus, bright lychee, tangy black currant, fresh peonies, water lily, red roses, and sweet jasmine, picked just for you. It's a lot of different florals, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. That's not one that I would gravitate to, but when I'm feeling floral, I think that's a good light floral scent. And then the last one is stuck in the box. This is Main Squeeze Bath Sugar. Okay. Add a scoop or two to a hot bath, lie back and relax. Bath sugar would also be nice as a foot soak. Interesting. There's that. I mean, just the package. This one's Main Squeeze. I'm going to guess this is citrusy with the squeeze being. Ooh, it's a really pretty pink. Ooh, yeah, citrusy all the way. Ooh, that smells really good. I like that a lot. I don't have a bath. I miss baths. But I would definitely do like a foot soak. Faux show. Let's see. A fresh glass of watermelon lemonade is perfect for a stroll through your local farmers market. Fresh squeezed lemons, hand-picked watermelon, juicy apricot, topped off with sparkling water, and a garnish of poppy flowers. Yeah, I definitely get the lemon. Because that citrus just... And I can get the sweetness from the watermelon. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. I like that scent a lot. I would get this as like a shampoo or a shampoo condition, like shampoo and conditioner. I'd also get it as like a body wash or a body scrub. And I have a watermelon scented shower oil, so I like to pair that with a watermelon like sugar scrub. So hopefully they'll have this in a sugar scrub since they made bath sugar with it, because I will definitely get some of that because I use the rest of my watermelon sugar scrub that I got last year with the bath oil or with the shower oil. But anyway, that's super good. I liked 3 out of the 4 scents were a home run. And then the 4th one, I just need to kind of see how it actually is in the dryer balls before I can make a firm yay or nay on it. But I like these kind of scents a little bit more. I'm more into the fruity, sweet kind of scents. I don't like things that are heavy on musk or really heavy-handed with florals. But I have to say, I wasn't very open to a lot of scents before I started doing fortune cookie soap. And I had seen reviews about their boxes for quite a while before I finally decided to join their wait list. And while there have been a couple boxes where most of the scents didn't work for me, I feel like overall it's worth the money and I love supporting them. And they're just wonderful people. When they do their once a quarter, they do a live show where they'll go over all of the different scents and what each product is in the scent, and they'll do trivia questions for each scent, and then you can win stuff. And I just love them. They seem like really awesome people. So yeah, definitely check out Fortune Cookie Soap if you enjoy supporting handmade bath and body product businesses and small businesses and all that stuff. So, final thing, I'll try not to ramble on too long. Crown of Midnight. I need to turn my brightness up so I can see. I am 67% of the way through, and I am on chapter 38, or just about to start chapter 38. And I know I mentioned it last night, but Fahimia died, and I wasn't like crying, but there were some tears shed for sure. And the way that Selena just shut down emotionally, internally, she just completely shut down. Nobody recognized her, and Dorian and Kale both were like, "Oh, that's okay. That's full-on assassin, Selena. Okay, we understand now." And then I just don't understand some of the decisions that these people are making. I don't understand why Archer decided it would be a good idea to kidnap Kale, and then I don't understand why Kale never said anything about Fahimia having potential danger, and then the king wanting to interrogate her. Why he said nothing to Selena or Fahimia. So at least them and Fahimia's guards would be a little bit more on watch. Although, now, I did say that I did not like the beheading that we saw of the singer early on. But we see the beginning of Selena torturing Grave, which is an assassin that was in the contest in the first book. And he's the one that actually killed Fahimia. And she tortures him good. And let me tell you, I didn't enjoy the beheading. But this torture scene, I was like, yes, Selena, get it. Kill this mofo. I was so for it. When she's like cutting off his fingers and stabbing him through the thighs and pinning him like daggers through the wrist, pinning him to the wall. Oh, I guess I just want my heroes to be bloodthirsty and in revenge for doing bad things to other characters that we love. And poor Selena just immediately was like, I couldn't protect Sam, I couldn't protect Bohemia, and she just feels so bereft inside. I loved seeing her go full assassin mode, and it was so much fun. And I'm glad that also we didn't have to deal too much with her and Kale, because I wasn't into it in the first place. And then it happened and I just was not happy. And then now it's over. And I hope that's it, that we move on. And like I said, I really think that whoever this green person, I want to say it's a dude, but I mean, I don't know. I could be completely throwing out wild guesses here, but I feel like the green eyes she saw is who her like future person is gonna be. But so outside of that, Dorian now is like having magic, and he doesn't have anyone to turn to, and he was trying to turn to Bohemia, and now that she's dead, he just doesn't know what to do. And I feel so freaking bad for him. Oh, and when Selena brought in the head of Grave and like tossed it at the table where the king was with all of his council members. Oh my god. She is so freaking badass. I love it. I am loving it. So, I'm trying to think if anything else important happened. It's been a lot of her being cold. We did see her sent to the dungeons, and I'm slightly frustrated with her about the dungeon thing, because the Katlina, or however her name is, the person that was being mind warped by the Duke and the King in the first book, is still in the dungeons, and she's talking to her about hearing wings and things like that. And there are other people that are saying similar things, and Selena is not putting it together, and she's just like, oh no, she's just crazy. She was crazy before. She was hooked on opium. She's been in the dungeon for however long. She's just crazy and insane. And other people keep mentioning hearing wings, seeing winged creatures, and she's not putting them together. And I'm just like, Selena, it's right in front of your face. But hopefully she kind of, now that she's not as wrapped up in Kale, maybe things can she'll start to kind of put the pieces together a little bit better. But yeah, I'm ready for her to go like full on badass on everybody. I'm kind of I was over Kale before, and I get that her and Dorian are kind of having slight issues with each other, because Dorian likes her and Dorian wanted to date her, but she pushed him away, so he decided to step back. But he didn't enjoy seeing her with Kale, and she doesn't enjoy seeing Dorian flirt with other people, and it's just like, oh my gosh. I'm like, please, can we just move on and just have them be friends? Because I love them as friends. But yeah, so I have about a half an hour before pregame starts for tonight's game. It's the second to last game. Tomorrow's game 82. It's a back-to-back. Tonight they're playing Nashville Predators, and tomorrow they play Minnesota Wild. So for the final game of the season, it's against one of our big division rivalries, so that'll be a fun game. But it's in Minnesota, but that's okay. And I haven't looked at the standings, but there is a chance that we might play either Dallas or Nashville in the first round of the playoffs. So this could be a playoff like preview matchup. I haven't looked at what the standings are today. I did see that last night's games eliminated the Vegas Golden Knights, but it seems like, from what I saw, the Stars clinched a playoff berth, but there's still a couple games left, there's still movement that can possibly happen in there. So it's still not set on who the Avs will be playing in the first round, as far as I know. But all right, I'm going to stop blabbering you, because this is another long update, but we had a lot to talk about, and I'm probably going to finish Crown of Midnight tonight. That is my hope. And then tomorrow night, I just have to worry about reading the novella if I don't get to it tonight. And then I have all weekend. And then the live show is on Saturday on Jen's channel. I'm pretty sure on Jen's channel. And then I can figure out what I'm picking up next. But in the meantime, I'm going to read for the next half an hour and see what I can get done before pregame starts. But until then, bye. Hello, we are trying a different angle this morning. So, it is Friday. Happy Friday. I am ready for the weekend. Oh, there's a lot of things I'd like to get done this weekend, but tonight is the last game of the Avalanche's season. Most of the games in the hockey season are, like, the final games are tonight, which is crazy, and next week starts playoffs. I cannot wait. So last night, the Avalanche lost in an overtime shootout to the Predators. But because we at least got it to overtime, we now have 119 points on the season, which is a franchise best points in a season. So we could potentially get it to 121, but I know a lot of the big players are going to be rested and didn't even make the flight to Minnesota last night. So we'll see. Hopefully they win it because it's against Minnesota. But, you know, it's the last game before the playoffs, and I don't know, Minnesota, we usually play really chippy against them, but with it being the last game before playoffs, and Minnesota's already kind of set in their playoff spot, and we're set in our playoff spot. I don't know if there's much to quote-unquote play for, but anyway, it's hockey, and I love hockey, so I'll have fun watching it tonight. But also, last night, I finished Crown of Midnight. And I'm trying to think. I feel like I liked it a little bit less than Throne of Glass, but I still liked it. So I'm debating if I want to give it 4 stars or 4.5 stars. Oh no, I'm back. Apparently I didn't set up my little holder right, so I'll have to mess with that. But anyway, I don't know if I want to give it 4 stars or 4.5 stars. And part of that is emotionally because I did not like that we lost Bohemia. And I didn't like the relationship between her and Kale. And I don't like how that all ended up. And it felt like at the end of the book, her and Dorian got back to being friends. And they were able to kind of lean on each other. And I really loved that. But then I didn't like how Kale just kind of cut Dorian out and decided that he's gonna send her to, I can't remember, but he wild something or word something or wold something. It starts with a W. But he like basically convinced the king to send her there because the king has struggled getting taking over this area. And it's one of the last, known areas of the, so when it goes through, the original Fae people, there's 3 sisters that are, really big in that mythos, although it's not mythos, because it seems like they're actually real people. But anyway, so there was Maeve, Mob, and another M1, I can't remember. I'm just all over the place this morning. But we find out that Selena, and we do finally get proof here. So I was correct. She is Aelin, the last princess of Terrasen. So that is confirmed. And she is part fae, or she's at least part fae. And she has magic. A lot of magic. But because magic is no longer in this world, she hasn't really been able to access it. And she kind of leaves hints for Chaol on who she is, and he kind of figures it out. I do wish that she would have opened up to Dorian more about it, especially because she was the one that Dorian basically was forced to confide in, that he has magic, and then Chaol found out afterwards. Which I was kind of pissed at Dorian a little bit, because, you know, the Queen, Elena, has been visiting Selena. But her king, I can't remember his name, he visited Dorian in his dreams. And he was like, you need to stop her and help save her from herself. And she's not going to do something good. And instead of running to where the king told him to go find Selena in the catacombs, he goes and gets Chaol. And yes, granted, they ended up needing Chaol but at the same time, Dorian was knocked unconscious, so he wasn't really able to help anyway, because Selena wasn't thinking and accidentally knocked him unconscious. Ugh. I don't know, man. I did not like that he wasted time getting to go get Chaol. And then, after all that, Selena opens up to Chaol about everything, but Dorian is still left in the dark about some things. And I'm like, no, if it's supposed to be you three against against his father, you need to, like, clue Dorian in. At this point, everybody knows they're trustworthy, or at least, I guess Chaol doesn't really have secrets that, if shared with the world, would mean he would immediately be executed. But, you know, it's that, So I was a little frustrated with that, but I love Dorian, and maybe that's just my Dorian bias. And I am intrigued to see what's going to happen, because I feel like the Fae stuff is going to really amp up, because she's going to, Chaol suggests her going to this other place, because the king's champion, she would have a chance to infiltrate and steal their naval and battle plans, and then help the king basically take them over. But Chaol's true reasons for getting her there is because that's like the last stronghold of the Fae or something like that, and he knows that that will be where she is most protected. So I feel like there's gonna be something with the Fae, and I feel like the Fae portion is really gonna start to ramp up from there. And we have at least one more word key to find, if not two, because it's not 100% sure if the king has one or two word keys. I think it's probably just one, and that'll give the chance for Selena and her allies to get two, and then hold the power over him to be able to take him down. Oh my gosh, those were low-flying geese. But yeah, I still really, really enjoyed it, but I was a little, and maybe a lot because I saw that everybody was so excited about how it ended. I wasn't as excited about how it ended, because a lot of the things that were like exposed, there were hints on throughout the book and from the first book. So it was more like, okay, yeah, I'm right. I read those hints right. Okay, cool, good. And it wasn't like mind blowing for me, because I picked up on all of those hints and little things. Let's see what else. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I just don't know what I'm gonna rate it yet. At least a 4-star, if not a 4.5. And I do have to say, I didn't see that big of a notice in writing skill And I'm sure, like, as we get further on in the series, like, it'll be a little bit more noticeable how her writing's changed. But I felt like this one was a little more comparable to the first book. So I didn't see anything too special, but I enjoyed that we got to see Selena kind of go full assassin mode. But then the whole Archer stuff, like, I didn't like that was one too many plot twist. Archer being the one to kill, or to masquerade as that dude, and then he was the one that actually hired Grave to kill Bohemia, and that was all a little too, it was too much. It was just too much. One more plot twist than I needed. It just, I don't know, like, I kind of felt Archer was not to be trusted in the first place, which I might have mentioned, but I don't know, he just, like, suddenly switched into evil monologue-y dude. And at least in the first book, like, we knew the evil people we were dealing with were evil, and it wasn't like, I don't know. So I think for the parts that I really enjoyed, they would be a 5-star. For the parts I didn't, would be more of a 4-star. So I am going to rank it as a 4.5, but I'm going to put it under Throne of Glass in terms of overall enjoyment, because I also feel like in this book there was a lot of hint dropping and dragging things out, and then things really ramped up the last, like, 30-ish%, which is fine, but it was a little too, I wish we had some of that action earlier, or there was more revelations earlier in the book, because it was a little, like, I was still having fun, but it was a little down. Dude, the speed limit's 25. This dude comes whipping around the corner in his little fancy Audi sports car. I don't understand people. Jeez. But yeah, so then, because it went into overtime last night, so all of my post-game shows went super late, I also managed to finish the novella, and that is The Assassin and the Healer, and I really hope that we see her. It was a really interesting novella. I really liked what was kind of going on, and we got to see a different side of Selena, and it does take place after the first novella, The Assassin and the Pirate Lord. Now that I'm at work, I'll move you. And I really, really liked seeing that she was kind of dealing with fallout after freeing the slaves from the Pirate Lord, and that the Assassin Master was like, no, you can't do that. That's not right. And so he's kind of punishing her, and he's sending her to the Red Desert Sands, something like that. And then we know that she did train with them because she's mentioned training with them in the first 2 books. So I think, and then I saw that's the title of the next book, is The Assassin in the Red Desert or something like that. So that'll be the next novella. But I really enjoyed it. I think I'd give it 4 stars. Yeah, I think I'll give it 4 stars because it definitely connected with the previous novella. So I feel like these are best read together, and they are combined in an anthology. But I I think I like this one a little bit more, even though in the first one we got to meet Sam, because we got to see Selena be a little bit more badass, but we also got to see her struggling with being an assassin, and got to see more of her fallout from being from a kingdom that the King of Adarlan has taken over. And I love that she helped this woman get out of the rut she found herself in to become better, or maybe not better, but to help her get to like the healer's college, I guess, or learning area. And so she's helping this woman become a healer, and I hope she pops back up, because that would be fun, even as just a mini side character. Like, she just runs into her and she's like, oh my gosh, how are you kind of a thing. Although that's not the vibe of this book, but that's sort of like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in forever thing. But yeah, and I hope that she's like a super duper powerful, like top of the line healer, because that would be just so awesome that Selena helped her get there. And then maybe she'll be a member of, because they're talking about noble courts too, and Selena rebuilding. Well, they're talking about Aelin rebuilding the noble court of Terrasen. So I feel like having a healer, a really powerful healer, would be really cool to add to the court for Aelin. And I don't know what to call her now. I'm like, are you Selena? Are you Aelin? But she's still going by Selena, so I'll just call her Selena for now. But she's also Aelin. Oh, I do. Okay, going back to Crown of Midnight. Quick jump back. I was wrong. I was so freaking wrong. The Green Eyes was not a love interest. The Green Eyes was a poor human that has been tortured by King Adarlan that they ended up killing, and it was a horrible, it wasn't even human anymore. I don't know what they did to it. I do wish that we knew, or they were able to kind of discover what happened to him a little bit more. But that's okay. And I feel bad for Roland, because Roland, while he seems kind of like more of a playboy than Dorian, I liked how he was, like, because I was nervous he was going to be kind of treated like how Dorian's little brother is, like not a good person, and just, I don't know what we're going to do with this guy because he's obviously has some issues. But I liked how Roland really stuck up for Dorian and kind of realized what was happening. But he was also letting himself be taken in by the king, and then he complained of headaches. So now we know that they're trying to mind manipulate him like they did the lady in the first book. And now him and the lady and the Duke are being sent to one of the slave camps. There's so much going on, so much in this world. It is really great world building. I'm really enjoying it. And while I'm angry at Kale for the way that he sent Selena away, I do like that we're going to, there's a kitty. There's a little black kitty running around my work. Okay. Oh, I bet they're going to go play in the field because there's mice over there. I bet. Anyway, there is that kitty just completely distracted me. It doesn't matter where I am. If there's a cat, prepare for me to be distracted. Oh, I do like that next book we are getting out of Rifthold again, and we'll get a lot of world expansion and really being, and not just learning about other worlds, but sitting and living in other parts of the world, not other worlds, although that's a whole other thing too. So yeah, I definitely really enjoyed it. I am excited to pick up the third book. I feel like I'm not as hyped to pick up the third book as other people, but I'm definitely excited to read more, and I cannot wait to talk about everything with the live show on Saturday, tomorrow. But I don't know what I'm going to pick up tonight. I need to kind of look at my TBR list and see what I have planned coming up next. I know I have the first full weekend of May, so not this weekend, but the next weekend is the Mafia Romance Readathon. And that, I think, is a Thursday through Sunday. And then that Monday through the following Sunday is the historical romance readathon. And I do plan on participating in both of those. So I'm going to have to see. I know that the Rake Appreciation Society is right after the historical romance readathon, but I can read that book during the historical romance readathon. But I feel like right after that is a different read-along book that's due. So I might have to read that before the Mafia and Romance readathon, or I might have time to free read for a little bit. So I don't know. I'll have to figure it out and sit down and look at everything. But I just wanted to update you. I'm going to go inside and get to work. It is Friday at least. Hello. Happy Friday evening, the Avalanche game. Oh my gosh, do you hear her grunting? The Avalanche just lost, which was unfortunate because it was against the Wild, but it was a chippy game. I feel like the first 30 minutes of the game was either multiple, I don't know, either we were in the box, they were in the box, or we both were in the box. It was like freaking crazy penalties nonstop. It was just, I mean, it was not the Nashville, the Minnesota Wild. So they're one of our big division rivalries. So it's always kind of chippy and physical with them. But I mean, it started with a bang. There was a fight like less than 5 minutes in. But the season is over. You can focus on playoffs now. We did sit like half of the team, so that was kind of crazy. And she's just happy to hang out. So, quick little tiny update for Crown of Midnight. I've been working on figuring out what I want to do for things tonight. So, for Love Has Sprung, I'm going to use it for Booksta rec, not rep, because I know a lot of people recommend just Sarah J. Maas in general. And then for the Taylor Swift Quarterly Challenge, I'm going to use it for Wildest Dreams. And that one is either a prompt that has a wild cover or a genre that's outside your normal, or a book that's outside your normal romance subgenre. And this is a YA fantasy romance, and the YA is what's outside my normal subgenres. So I used it for that one. And then for Assassin and the Healer, that one I used for No Body, No Crime, which is either a mystery or a cover without a person on it. So I used it for that one, and that puts me at 17 of the 45 prompts for the Taylor Swift Quarterly Challenge, but there's also 7 bonus ones, and I am really lagging on my Love Has Sprung. I was hoping to have the first bingo board done a lot earlier, but that's not, and a couple of the books I had to put to bingo board too because they didn't fit prompts, but that was book 19, so I have 6 more books to finish this one. And the problem is a lot of the books that I need to read or I really want to read for read-alongs and the readathons coming up are not going to work for those prompts. So I don't know. I might just have to simultaneously work on both bingo board 1 and 2. And then when I finish bingo board 1, then at that point, then I won't have as much left on bingo board 2. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, so there is that. Before we do the quest calendar and wrap things up, I do have a little bit of a book haul. So when I went grocery shopping, they finally had Eloisa James's How to Be a Wallflower. I finally have the paperback version. I intentionally waited to buy this from my local Walmart because I want, if a book is coming to a mass market retailer, I want to buy it at a mass market retailer, and this wasn't going to be stocked by my local Target, the new one that we have that's like half size. It's really cute. But they have a very tiny book section. It usually is just mostly Target exclusive books from what I saw, but I didn't look too hard at it, but it's like half an aisle. But yeah, they finally had this in stock, but none of the other books that came out on Tuesday were there that I didn't already have ordered, but that's okay. I feel like May is the big historical month that's coming up. So, but I have a lot of those ones already pre-ordered. But anyway, so I picked up this. I'm super excited to finally read it. I did get the ebook version of it because I wasn't sure how soon I would get to it and if I would want to pick it up sooner than later. And so I did get the ebook version because I had a bunch of digital credits that I get because when I order stuff from Amazon, I usually do the delayed shipping, and then I'll get, like, depending on what I'm ordering, anywhere between $1 and $5 digital credits. And then I just basically save those until there's an ebook that I really want that isn't available for free or anything like that. So yeah, so I picked up that. And then what came today is I found a new copy of Queen of Shadows. This is by Sarah J. Maas. This is a part of Throne of Glass. Guys, I don't know. I can't remember where I found this. This book is new. I paid $6 for it. So when I saw this, even though it's further on in the series, Queen of Shadows, I don't know what number this one is. Okay, 1, 2, 3. This is book 4. Okay, so it's not too far ahead. But yeah, I had to get it because it was so cheap, and I definitely do want to collect these. I am going to collect them in paperback. The hardbacks are pretty. The hardbacks are definitely pretty, and I like all of the different dust covers with the different artworks. There's multiple different ones out there, but I prefer paperback most of the time, and I also, it's easier to read for me with paperbacks. It's easier to, just have on your shelves, and if I am moving, which I probably will be moving soon, it's paperbacks are easier, and I just enjoy paperbacks a lot more than hardbacks. I am thinking, though, for special artwork. I did see that somebody on Instagram has, I think, what they called overlays or inserts or something like that. And it's full page artwork, but it's artwork on a transparency. And then you can put it into the book. So when you get to that page, there's artwork of what's going on, and then you can flip it and continue reading. And I thought that was really cool. And I did see that they offered it in both the paperback and the hardback size. So I definitely want to get the paperback inserts, but that's after I collect all of these, which will be a slow process because I'm going to wait until I can see them on sale, until I can find them on sale or a really good used version. So this isn't like a huge rush because I did get most of the ebook versions. And I've had a lot of the ebook versions anyway, because I just never got to this. But anyway, so I found this. I bought it from a used bookstore, but this is a new copy. And it was a used bookstore I just randomly found online because I think I had an alert set through one of my people to let me know when books that I have favorited have dropped in price. And then I got, now this wasn't originally supposed to come out till June, but it came out early, and that is Brutal Vows by J.T. Geisinger. I saw that Jen had mentioned that this the paperback was up for order earlier than the release date, but I saw it afterwards, so I think the release date is technically today, or it's June 1st. I don't know. It's like right around today. But anyway, so I had to get this. This is book 4 in the Queens and Monsters. I still haven't read book 3, but I'll probably read at least book 3 during the Mafia Romance Readathon coming up. But because I have the first 3, I had to get this one as well. And I did get this one from Amazon. And then usually when I buy something from Amazon, I like to just glance through my a couple of my other book lists and see if anything has, because I have notifications on there, if anything's dropped price. So I had a couple of books that have been on my wish list forever, and they dropped in their indies, and they dropped really, really cheap. So I snagged them while I could. And one of them is Kiss Me Again by Emma Hart. This is a part of her Kiss Me trilogy. And this is either book 2 or 3. Because then I also got Kiss Me Tonight. And this is either 2 or 3. So I got books 2 and 3. I did not get the first one because the first book was still full priced. But I read this trilogy, I don't know, a couple years ago, I feel like. It's been on my list for a while, and I really enjoyed them. It was the first series by Emma Hart. I've read some of her other books, but they weren't quite as good as this series. But I feel like I gave this series all between 4 and 5 stars, and I really enjoyed them. The first book, which I don't have, is, I think, Brother's Best Friend or Best Friend's Brother or something like that. But it's the main female character. I'll put it up here. She is like known as like the kissing booth queen, and she ends up competing with this person, and she's had a crush on him forever, and then somehow or another they get dared, or there's a kissing bet, and they have to end up, and then she has to end up kissing him, and then it's, I don't know, it was just really cute, really rom-commy. I feel like I read these all in a weekend, and I just really enjoyed them. This one is, I think this is the one. Yep, this is the one where our main female character, let me see if I can see her name. Reagan. Yeah, Reagan. She is talking to somebody, and they're talking about number neighbors, and that's people who have like your phone number that's one up and one down. So like my phone number ends in 5530, so I would text my phone number except for 5531 and 5529, and those are your number neighbors. So she texts her number neighbor, and one of them ends up being a fireman, and she asks him just some random questions to get his opinion on, I feel like, dating or something like that. And then it turns out he's a firefighter, and he's new to the same town, and she's like, holy cow. And then her apartment ends up catching fire, and he saves her, and it was just one of those like really funny, really cute books. I really enjoyed this one. And then this one, I don't remember quite as much, but oh, that's right. Okay, so her brother's best friend and her have been always contentious against each other, and he ends up moving in and becoming her roommate, and she has always kind of been in love with him, but they have a very antagonistic relationship because he said things and he's done things that have hurt her because she has been crushing on him and in love with him for so long. And so this one was more of like a secretly pining enemies to lover. I feel like, if I remember correctly, this is my least favorite of the 3, but I really enjoyed this one, and I really enjoyed the second one, or the first one, but I think this one is probably my favorite. But It's been a while since I read these, but I just had to get them because usually indie published books are like $14.99, and these were on sale. One of them was like $6 and one of them was like 4 something or 5 something. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna grab them because that's cheaper than a friggin' mass market right now. But so that's my really tiny book haul. I figured I'd show those off. I just can't stop buying books. But when they're on sale, I like to snag them up, especially the independent ones, because I feel like they go on sale not very often. And while I like supporting authors, I love a good sale, let's be honest. So let me do the quest calendar and then we will wrap up. So yesterday we started our research in the library, the Lost Library. And okay, we got a little bit of a longer one today. See, I shouldn't have just rambled on because we have a full-on library map. So S is where we're starting. The library is vast and holds many books and scrolls. Search among the stacks of books for the relevant scrolls and texts you need in order to learn more about the gates. Navigate the dungeon like a maze. Begin at the S, start, and make your way to the end labeled with a star. Resolve each room you visit before choosing your next. Okay. So when I do mazes, I always do the left side. So we are going to start at the S. And then we're going to come 3, 1, and then we'll come back up and we'll explore. We'll go up here. We'll follow this line, but we have to go up here. So then we'll hit 2, 5, 4, and then we'll come back down to the star. So we're just going to go in a circular motion and go like so. Alrighty, so we'll do room number 3 first. And I will get my dice. And we have a +4 today from what we got yesterday. Okay. Number 3. You find a janitor's locker room. It appears that nothing here has been used in ages. It is not surprising since the rest of the place is dirty and covered in dust. As you turn to exit, you catch a glimpse of a hooded figure passing by quickly. Perhaps it was an avian creature, but it moved too quickly to tell. Great. Okay, so then room number 1. This is a cozy reading nook with a soft sofa. It is safe enough to take a rest here. Restore your health to full, regain all expended uses of abilities, regain all spell points and chi points, blah 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 blah. Okay. I think look alive, it's 9 o'clock. I think we will take a rest here because we can restore our health to full, and we have taken a little bit of damage, about 1/3 of our damage. So we will take a rest for sure. Okay, in a cozy reading nook. Alrighty, so then we will go up to room number 2. You walk into a meeting room and find 3 skeletons. This is not Nightmare Before Christmas. Okay, search the bodies. Roll a d20 plus intellect, reminder, investigator. So our intellect is a -1, but we have a +4 to everything for today. So that is a +3. And we rolled a 9. But that is 12. Okay. You suspect that they may have been talking or arguing too loudly and were attacked by the librarian. You find 10 gold on their persons. Sweet. Cool. Alrighty. Room number 5. A large room of the library filled with many books. You hope to find what you are looking for here. Search the shelves and the stacks of books. Okay, same thing. Intellect, reminder, investigator. So we are at a +3 with everything. That is a 15, so 18. Okay. If the result is 15 or more, you find many potentially helpful and relevant books on the topic of the gates and transference energy. Cool. We found the books. Very cool. Alrighty. And then room number 4, and that is the last one. A large room of the library filled with ancient scrolls. You might find what you're looking for here. Search the shelves in a pile of scrolls. Okay, so same thing. +3. Alrighty, that is a 13, so 16. And what is... and it's 15 here as well. So we just make this one. You find many potentially helpful and relevant books on the topic of the gates and transference energy. So we found them in both places. Cool. And then we'll make our way down to the starred room. So we have completely circled here. Once again, we started here. We came down to this room. Then we took a rest in the reading nook. Then we came up through here, saw the room with the skeletons, which there are tiny little skeletons on the picture. I can get it to zoom. There's all the skeletons there. And then we were in this room searching through these books, and then we searched this section, and now we are back down here to the star. And so the star will be what we deal with next week. All right. So 3 books this week. All for reading clubs and read-alongs, but that's okay. It's the end of the month. That's what usually happens. And we will see. I feel like I'm at 13 books for the month, but I'm going to try to read as much as I can tomorrow on Saturday and figure out what I'm going to pick up tonight, and I'll add whatever that is to next week's vlog. But I'm hoping I can at least get through 1 or 2 books this weekend. I need to check my TBR and see if I need to try to get to any books before any the readathons that are coming in May, like I mentioned earlier, but we shall see what happens. But that will all be next week, so I will stop rambling at you. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to leave any comments below and like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you all very soon.